user perspective, let's say the UI matters. And not just UI, it's capacitive touch UI. Because no one wants to touch on a resistive screen nowadays, or no one wants to touch on a physical keyboard these days. But that is where Symbian, if you take a Symbian phone, as the guys are agreeing, I think. So they've had hard time with it. It's an N device, E-series device, right? So even with all these QWERTY keyboards, they still suck major time with the UI. Because the UI was not meant to be for all these bigger screens. It was meant to be for smaller screens. And when scaling it up, it just didn't work. Let's say on a Series 40 device, they have these 4 touch devices. If you horizontally change the screen, then the UI goes haywire. It doesn't work. So even for the built-in apps, some buttons are obstructed. I had the experience. Think about it. The built-in application, it doesn't have an OK button because it's messed in the UI rotation. It doesn't work like that. Users don't want to see it anymore. And earlier users were tolerating this because they were fine with the hardware. Because let's say, okay, I'm paying this much money, I'm fine with it. And they don't expect much. But these days, users want the perfect operating system on the mobile phone. Because mobile has become the next PC for them. So they don't tolerate this anymore. And of course, the browser. How many of you have used Symbian browser? You've used, right? So if you are going to do an SSL page, let's say I'm going to an SSL page, it's going to an SSL page, do you want to proceed? I say yes. And when it's exiting, it asks, you are going to exit an SSL page, do you want to say yes? And I say yes. So in Gmail, if I want to go there, I had to press 8 yes, 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 yes before I could see my inbox. Would anyone want that? It's just plain common sense. And Nokia kindly missed that out. I don't know how that happened. But I had to press like 8 or 6, maybe more than 6, something like that. I had to press that much yeses before I could see my inbox. And that's not even a proper browser. These guys, what they've done is like they've stripped down everything from the browser. It doesn't have Flash, it doesn't have HTML5, it doesn't support JavaScript at all. To some extent, yes, but not properly. And they are calling it a browser. Even IE6 was better than that. So, thank you. So, this kind of stuff, people don't tolerate. Honestly, I don't have time for this. I don't want to press 6 yeses. I want a full operating system browser. On the Android side, if you say, I could sign into my Gmail and have my chat enabled on the left-hand side. On a mobile browser. It's that powerful. And it scores a lot in ACID 3 test as well. So that's the kind of browser that we want. That's the kind of browser that people want. People don't want any small browser anymore. People want full browsing experience. And Android, you can have, if your screen is small, then you can have an option of going mobile. That's configurable. But even on Nokia, it doesn't have any feature saying, okay, I don't want mobile, I want desktop. It doesn't have an option like that. At least not sure about the others. So, and of course, apps. Who doesn't want Angry Bird on their device? I mean, come on, Angry Birds is cool. It's like that. You just want more apps. You just want more purpose. You want to teach your old dog some new tricks. That's how it goes. People want extensibility. How do you call that? Extensibility. All right, that's the term. All right. People want that. And you just have to provide it somehow. For Symbian, Nokia is paying a lot of developers to do this stuff, but it's not working out at the moment, I guess. And Ovi Store is kind of failing. For Android, apps. You have app for everything. Even there is an app for a vibrator. You can use your phone as a vibrator if you want. There's an app for that as well. No offense. There is one. Go search on the market. There is one. All right. So that's the kind of ecosystem, application and market that we are talking about. And of course, you have to provide an ecosystem. It's not just about hardware or software anymore. It has to be a whole complete ecosystem. You can have up to 30,000 feet shock-proof system. You can have a dust-proof system in a desert storm. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. people don't care what you do. They want a complete package. Any one of these is missing, your device is a total failure, guaranteed failure. You want developers, you want software, and you want hardware. It has to be a total package. That's the expectation of users these days. That pretty much sums it up. Hope everybody is happy to go home. And got any questions, you can fire no ballistic missiles, please. And of course, thank you, Nasli. So any questions, anyone just want to ask anything? Just for the sake of please, someone ask me something. Because yeah.
Now that Nokia's switching to Windows 7, do you think it'll improve?
It's like one blind person helping the other. Thank you. Cheers, guys. You are great. Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's just like that. There are already 2 market leaders out there. And how many of the developers are willing to migrate to another platform? That will be the defining factor.
Coming back to what you just mentioned, when you were talking about Android, you failed to mention the fact that there is, for me, I experienced this as well. One of the biggest problems was the problem of the phones being different, and there was a constant problem of compatibility between phones. This is at least something that Windows Phone 7 has addressed, and they have given the multiple device option as well. And on this thing, I believe that they have gone past Android in this aspect. So don't you think that that's a point which Android is missing out on completely?
Yep. At the moment, Android is really missing out on that. But from Ice Cream Sandwich, they are unifying the entire operating system. So probably we'll have a smoother environment there.
On one last completely different note, though, just coming from a different angle, what's your view on Oracle versus Android right now?
Oracle versus Android?
Yeah, because
there was a recent ruling that the judge suggested Oracle to consider the lawsuit.
It was just to consider the amount that they're charging, but the charges that they're putting up against Google still have not been contested.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Do you see a future of some
yes,
Android
of
going
course,
wrong?
I'm not going to say Google is not going to let this go so easily. So I have faith in Google because they have built an empire on the Android platform. I don't think they are going to give it up just like that. Let's see. Yes.